It's wild how fast things can change in the NFL. Just last year, Tony Pollard was one of the most dynamic pieces in the Dallas Cowboys' offense back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, explosive plays, and for many fans, the promise of a true RB1 era. But here we are, and Pollard's chapter in Dallas has already closed. If you're a Cowboys fan like me, that probably still feels strange to say out loud. This guy was electric in 2022, averaging over 5 yards per carry, putting up highlight reels almost every other game. We were all asking the same question: why hasn't he been the starter all along? But the NFL doesn't deal in emotion, it deals in production, value, and projection. And the truth is, in 2023, Pollard didn't look like the same guy. Whether it was the workload, play calling, or just the wear and tear catching up, his efficiency dipped. We're talking about a drop from 5.2 yards per carry to closer to 4.0, and in today's NFL, especially for running backs, that kind of dip matters. And for a front office like Dallas, it really matters when there's money on the line. It's why the team decided not to offer Pollard a big extension. Instead, they let him test the market. And he landed in Tennessee, hoping to prove he still got that same burst. But as we're about to see, things haven't gone exactly to plan for him there either. Before we dive into that, I want to know what you think. Did the Cowboys make the right move by letting Pollard walk? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments, and if you've been following this offseason drama like I have, do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a breakdown like this one. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers, and every click counts. Alright, so Pollard left Dallas, but how's it actually going for him in Tennessee? Let's break that down next. So here's the thing: when Tony Pollard signed with the Tennessee Titans, there was this quiet optimism around him, not just from Titans fans, but even from Cowboys Nation too. It was like, okay, maybe a change of scenery is what he needs. After all, he was stepping into a backfield that had just moved on from Derrick Henry. There was space, opportunity, and the assumption that Pollard would get the bulk of the carries. On paper, it looked like a fresh start. But the reality, it's been a bit sobering. Yes, Pollard once again hit that 1,000-yard mark in 2024. That sounds great until you dig deeper, because just like in his final year with Dallas, the efficiency wasn't there. He averaged only 4.2 yards per carry. That's not terrible, but it's not elite either, especially not for someone who was once considered one of the most explosive backs in the game. And if you watched the Titans last season, you saw it. There just wasn't the same pop. The breakaway speed didn't show up as often, the burst, not quite the same. Defenders weren't missing like they used to. Then came the announcement that really put things into perspective. Titans head coach Brian Callahan came out and said it directly: Pollard won't be the feature back. They're going to rotate. Tyjae Spears is going to get meaningful snaps. And this isn't coach speak. This is them admitting, loud and clear, that Pollard is no longer viewed as a bell cow back. That's a tough pill to swallow for any player, especially one who left a high-profile team like the Cowboys expecting to be the guy. And it makes you wonder, was Dallas ahead of the curve on this one? Did the Cowboys front office see this coming and decide to move on before the decline became undeniable? Let me throw that question your way. Do you think Pollard is truly on the decline, or is he just in the wrong system? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your take. And hey, if you appreciate this kind of honest breakdown, go ahead and smash that like button. It helps more than you know, and it brings us one step closer to hitting our goal of 15,000 subscribers. Coming up next, we're diving into what this all means for Dallas. Because if Pollard isn't the guy anymore, who is? The Cowboys' backfield might just surprise you. Now here's where things start to get interesting for us Cowboys fans, because while Tony Pollard is facing a new reality in Tennessee, the Dallas Cowboys haven't exactly been standing still when it comes to the backfield. In fact, they've been reshuffling the deck, and the results might just justify letting Pollard walk in the first place. Let's start with Rico Dowdle. This dude flew under the radar for a while, but when he got his chances last season, he made the most of them. Dowdle ran with power, showed vision, and brought a level of physicality that reminded a lot of folks of a younger Zeke. Now, he didn't blow the roof off in terms of stats, but when you watched the tape, you saw a guy who didn't waste touches. And for a team looking to re-establish a strong ground game, that's huge. But it doesn't stop there. The Cowboys made some serious moves. This offseason, they brought in Javonte Williams from Denver who, when healthy, can absolutely bruise between the tackles. They also picked up Miles Sanders, who's looking to rebound after a rough stint in Carolina. And then there's the wild card rookie Jaden Blue. We'll get to him in a second. What we're seeing is a backfield built on depth and versatility, not just one workhorse. That's the shift. It's no longer about having one guy do it all. It's about having multiple backs who can do different things well: short yardage, pass catching, change of pace, and honestly, it might be the smarter approach in today's NFL. And let's be real, if you can get similar or better production from a group of backs on cheaper contracts than what Pollard would have cost, that's a win for the front office. It's about value and long-term sustainability. The Cowboys seem to be playing that game, and it might finally be paying off. So let's talk about it. Who do you think will be the Cowboys' RB1 this year? Is it Dowdle? Is it Javonte Sanders? Or are you riding with the rookie? Drop your pick in the comments, I'll be checking. And while you're at it, if you're enjoying this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe. Help us hit 15,000 strong. We're building something special here. Alright, now speaking of the rookie, Jaden Blue's name keeps popping up for a reason. Let's take a closer look at what he brings to the table. Jaden Blue, remember the name, because while a lot of folks outside of Dallas might be sleeping on him, Cowboys insiders are starting to buzz in for good reason. This kid might just be the surprise breakout in the Cowboys' backfield, and it's time we start talking about why. Coming out of Texas, Blue was one of those guys who didn't get a ton of national hype, but if you actually watched the tape, you saw flashes of something special. He wasn't the starter his whole college career, but when he got touches, he made them count. In his final season with the Longhorns, he racked up 730 yards and 8 touchdowns, averaging close to 6 yards per carry. That's not just solid, that's efficient, and it screams potential when you're projecting him into a balanced NFL offense. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about the way he runs. Blue's got this smooth acceleration that helps him get to the second level quickly, and once he's in space, he knows how to make defenders miss. He's not a bruiser like Javonte or Dowdle, but he brings something the others don't: elusiveness, and that's exactly the kind of trait that can earn you playing time, especially in passing downs or change of pace situations. In training camp so far, coaches have been praising his work ethic and attention to detail. He's coming in humble, eager to learn, but also ready to compete. And let's not forget, this is a 5th-round pick we're talking about. The pressure isn't sky-high like it would be for a 1st or 2nd rounder, which means he can develop without all the noise. Sometimes that's exactly the environment a young back needs to thrive. So here's my question to you: do you think Jaden Blue can become the next Cowboys gem? We've seen this team hit on late-round guys before. Is Blue the next in line? Hit the comments and drop a Y for yes or an UN for no. Let's see where Cowboys Nation stands on this one. And listen, if you're enjoying this rookie spotlight and you want more deep dives like it, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're pushing for that 15,000 subscriber milestone, and every single one of you helps get us there. Up next, we're looking at the big picture. Because it's not just about running backs, this entire team is facing serious questions heading into training camp. Let's break it down. Training camp is right around the corner, and for the Dallas Cowboys, it's more than just a tune-up, it's where the 2025 season could truly be shaped. There's a different kind of pressure in the air this year, not just because of what's happening in the backfield, but but because this team, from top to bottom, is carrying a mix of hope, hype, and very real concerns. Let's start with the obvious, the running back battle. It's going to be one of the biggest storylines heading into Oxnard. With no clear-cut RB1, every rep, every drill, every preseason snap is going to matter. Javonte Williams wants to prove he's still got that fire after his injuries in Denver. Miles Sanders is looking for redemption. After falling out of favor in Carolina, Rico Dowdle's trying to lock down a bigger role. And Jaden Blue, he's the X factor, that's for guys fighting for one spotlight, and the coaching staff is going to be watching everything. But running back isn't the only area under the microscope. There's real concern around the offensive line, especially with veterans like Zach Martin managing their health and younger pieces needing to step up. If the O-line isn't stable, it won't matter who's running the ball. And then there's Dak Prescott, still no long-term extension, still the center of debate in Cowboys Nation. Is this his prove-it year? Is this the end of his Dallas journey? The pressure on him to deliver, especially without a dominant run game locked in, is immense. On the defensive side, things are just as intense. Micah Parsons is entering his next level of superstardom, and he's going to set the tone. But health will be key. Trevon Diggs returning from injury, and questions around the linebacker depth will be critical points to watch. The defense can be elite, but only if they stay healthy and get support from the offense. So as a fan, you gotta ask yourself, where's your confidence level right now? On a scale from 1 to 10, how sure are you that this team is playoff bound? Drop your number in the comments. I want to get a sense of where the fan base is mentally going into camp. And hey, if you're still watching at this point, you're the kind of fan who lives and breathes Cowboys football, so hit that subscribe button, help us reach our goal of 15,000, and lock in with Cowboys News TV all season long. We've got rookie updates, training camp reports, injury breakdowns, and everything else you want to know, all right here. Stick around, because next we're diving into even more storylines that could define this season. Don't miss it.